And in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, please be seated. Around 20 years ago, I was invited to be part of a clergy leadership project. That was the title of this group that I became a part of. And for a couple of years, I got to go to Connecticut and meet all sorts of cool people and do cool things. And one of the people I spent some time with, one of the people I got to spend some time with was a theologian who taught at Yale Divinity School. And I've been revisiting his books lately. So when I talk about him in my sermon, you'll know why I'm talking about him, because I got to spend quite a bit of time with him. He impressed me, and his work kind of has grounded me throughout my time as a priest. So when we read this letter from the Hebrews this morning, it comes near the end of the letter. And we hear this from the writer. The writer says, "Let mutual love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that some have entertained angels without knowing it." Then the writer says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And then closes with, "Through him then let us continually offer a sacrifice of praise to God, that is, the fruit of lips that confess his name. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." So on the surface, this is practical advice. Keep loving each other. Keep welcoming. Keep serving. But if we listen through the lens of Miroslav Volf, a theologian who wrote Exclusion and Embrace out of the crucible of war in the Balkans, we hear a deeper challenge. Miroslav insists that Christian faith calls us not simply to avoid excluding others, but to actively open our arms in embrace, even to those who feel most other to us. In the letter to the writer to the Hebrews urges mutual love. But we know that exclusion often feels easier than embrace. When we are hurt or when we fear losing our place in the world, we build walls. We make lists. Who is safe? Who is suspect? Who is like us? Who is not? Miroslav names this exclusion. It is the human tendency to draw boundaries that keep us secure and keep others out. In our time, exclusion can look like the demonization of immigrants, the suspicion cast on those of different faiths, races, or gender identities, or even the quiet distancing from people whose politics or lifestyles we can't understand. And yet the author of Hebrews reminds us, do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that some have entertained angels. The stranger, the one outside our circle, may be God's messenger to us. In Exclusion and Embrace, Volf describes the cross as the ultimate act of divine embrace. Jesus stretches out his arms wide, literally to take in the world. On the cross, Christ identifies with those cast out, those broken, those condemned, those that become the scapegoats of the powers and principalities. The letter to the Hebrews puts it this way: Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The one who was faithful to the end, who embodies God's radical hospitality in every age, is still the same Christ alive in us. If Christ's posture is arms open, then the church's posture cannot be arms crossed. Hebrews pushes us further. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. In a world of scarcity, exclusion makes sense. Keep what is yours. But in the economy of God, abundance is found when we give and when we welcome. For Volf, embrace does not mean erasing difference or pretending that harm never happened. Embrace is costly. It requires truth-telling and justice. But it also requires that we resist the temptation to let fear and hatred define us. Hospitality becomes an act of resistance against the forces that want to reduce us to closed-off tribes. This hospitality is beyond our politics and points us to a place where hope is operative and embrace is the normative posture for the followers of Jesus. In the Episcopal Church, we proclaim that all are welcome at God's table. We just sang a hymn where we sing the verse, "All are welcome in this place." It's not just a liturgical tagline or a hymn refrain. It is a theological principle, a revolution, if you will. Every Sunday, strangers and friends, the joyful and the grieving, the righteous and the repentant, gather at one altar. Here Christ embodies the embrace of God again. When we practice hospitality, whether by welcoming financially insecure neighbors through stone soup, walking with our houseless friends on the streets, standing in solidarity with marginalized people of all types, or simply keeping our parish doors open, we are participating in God's embrace. We are living the words of the letter to the Hebrews: mutual love, hospitality to strangers, doing good and sharing what we have. So friends, what does it mean for us to live as the writer to the Hebrews encourages us, and Miroslav Volf's wisdom interpreting the teachings of Jesus in our time? It means we recognize the pull of exclusion, but we choose to embrace. It means we acknowledge real hurt, but we keep the cross before us as God's act of reconciliation. It means we see hospitality not as niceness, but as radical resistance and an opportunity to create a different environment than the world creates. And it means that in everything, we trust the one who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Let us then offer our sacrifice of praise, not only with our lips, but with our lives, in the choices we make, in the tables we set, and in the arms we open.